Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final round of the Tillotson T4 Esports series. Welcome one and all from around the world here joining us for this fabulous evening. We're at the circuit Mikasalo in Finland, also known as Alaharma. It's round 6, and there is plenty of action coming up. I'm Anthony Jordan. Joining me once again, Simon Byford in the commentary box throughout the day, taking you through all the live action and, of course, all the points that are coming through the day as well. Here's a look at the circuit itself, though. 1,200 metres in length, 17 turns in total, 16 feet of elevation, and of course running on the rFactor 2 platform using the kart sim software that we were running on there. Weather that we've got tonight, it's pretty calm for Finland, I have to say. It's a bit overcast, but it's nice temperatures, so they're dealing with that one. No rain predicted, which I think the drivers are very much thankful for, because it's hard enough to drive these things in the dry, let alone the wet conditions, as you look here at some of the beautiful shots at the Mikasalo circuit. Simon, again, you join us. Welcome once more. How are we this afternoon?
I'm very good, thank you, Anthony. Now, I've remembered my microphone cable this time, which is
lovely.
It's an improvement on last time, so I will be able to come in and have a brief word during the races rather than just kind of sitting around during the breaks recapping what happened. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of action today. It's a fantastic circuit if you've never seen this before. So many challenging corners, and like Anthony said, quite a bit of elevation change as well. 16 feet, so that's bound to produce some action, and a figure of 8 circuit as well. Going over the bridge and then back under. Yeah.
So, of course, the main sort of venue itself is actually called the Power Park. Now, this was built back in the early 2000s, I think, the year of 2000. The track itself was helped designed by Mikasalo himself, obviously F1 driver, raced in the F1 series between 94 and 2002. And like you say, a very Suzuka-esque sort of circuit here that we've got. So, like you say, the figure of 8 sort of area. And I have to say, I get the Nürburgring vibes from this track as well, purely because the roller coaster is right at the side of the start-finish straight. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a challenging element to it that could be accompanied by a section of the Nordschleife. I mean, some of the corners, there is literally no room to make a mistake, and it's one corner into another, and it's very fast and flowing, this circuit, much like sections of the Nordschleife as well. And well, thankfully, there isn't the same level of consequence in this if you crash than there is at the Nordschleife, and we've been seeing plenty of people doing plenty of practice this evening, and also during the week in the practice server, making sure that they are able to extract every single 10th and 100th that they can from this track. We're just waiting for the first heat to get underway, and when we do, we will be able to bring you the grid.
Yes, indeed. Of course, first heat on the way in just a moment's time. Drivers joining us throughout the world, of course, joining us from all over the place, have been practicing furiously before we've actually gone live today, and I have got their kind of live timing up. They are still in a practice session currently, but they'll be coming onto the grid in just a moment's time. But, of course, we have to remember ourselves back. I mean, we've been doing this series now for about 4 months. We're now in round 6. You know, we've seen drivers come and go, but we've got our top drivers after drop scores. I mean, Calai Atkins, he leads the points, 140 points from Daniel Moore. Now, Calai Atkins not racing tonight. I know that for a fact because he's currently at the Wilton Mill circuit where I am, not next to a racing simulator. So I know for a fact that he's not out there tonight. Daniel Moore, however, he is out there. He's second in those point standings and looking to take potentially the overall win in this one, but you have to remember that they dropped the 3 worst scores, and Daniel Moore, he's had a round where he's had 0 points, he's had 35 points, and he's had 40 points. There is 3 lowest scoring rounds he's had so far. You know, what's going to be the main sort of fundamental factor that they've got throughout that one? Are they going to have to work hard for that one, or is he going to have to, you know, just sit back, relax? Maybe he doesn't need to do much, but he is a few points behind. What can he do?
Well, that's the question, but like we say, Calai Atkins not racing this evening. Rory O'Shea is another one. If he has a good evening, then, you know, there's a very real chance that he can also take the victory. But we have to remember, it is the top 2, not just the top 1, the top 2 who get invited with that all expenses paid ticket to the World Cup in September, the end of September. I nearly forgot when it was then. But that's an important thing to remember. Even if Daniel Amor and Rory O'Shea both have a very good evening, Calais Atkins can still end up at the World Cup. So that's going to be something I'm sure he's going to be watching, or at least keeping one eye on his screen to see how his competitors are doing and see what his chances are like going into the final, and seeing how many points he ends up with at the end of it.
Yes, of course. Yeah. The Nations Cup will be joining us at the end of September, beginning of October as well. So make sure you don't miss on that one. That'll be a great one to watch as well. If you're not going to be there, I'm sure there'll be a way you can view it as well. But of course, several new classes that they've got racing out there this year as well for the Nations Cup. They've got the senior classes, they've got the Masters, they've got the rental team endurance. I think that's the biggest one. The biggest change for this year's Nations Cup is that they have got that endurance class, which is again a rental car, but racing in, I think, a team of 4 over a period of an endurance race. So a completely different sort of format to what you would usually see at the usual Nations Cup. But this year around, that's going to be an absolutely fabulous one for drivers to be a part of. But you know what? I think I'm looking forward to tonight, Simon, because I think this track, I don't think, the last time I think this hosted anything major in real life, I think was 2019 for the FIA Cup World Championships. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think
you're right. I
think off the top of my head, I could be completely false, but I think that the modern day circuit now, it's just the rental cars that they have going around there, which I have to say for the people of Finland, that's one heck of a circuit you've got for a rental track to race on.
It is, yeah. I don't think it's the T4 rentals that are racing around there. No. But I'm sure it will be in a few years when they prove themselves to be vastly superior to literally everything else out there.
Yes.
But at the minute, I think you're right in saying that it was 2019 the last time it hosted a major competition, which you have to say, it's a terrible shame given the quality of the circuit. But I think I saw that there were some safety concerns about runoff, and that could have impacted the decision not to hold any more major competitions there, or at least since then.
Well, I mean, it's completely different to what you would see in a normal European kart circuit, where they've got lots of runoff or anything like that. But this track is a challenge, and a challenge it will be for our first heat, which is coming up right now. Oh, yes, indeed. Challenge now is about to take to the circuit, and it's Heat 1 for the circuit. Mika Salo, Jordan Upton and Daniel Amor will start on the front row. Zane Khan and Alex O'Grady go from row 2. Flynn McComfort and Rory O'Shea go from row number 3. Rory O'Shea, of course, third in the points standings. What can he do from there? Daniel Amor, of course, starting second. Daniel Kellier and Ty Cuthbert go from row 4. Jensen O'Neill going. Start from row 5 with someone in P10. Nathan Maximin go from row 11 with Ty Cuthbert again in P12. So 2 Ty Cuthberts out there. I think there's a little glitch there with the timing, so I do apologise for that one. But again, I believe 10 drivers out there, and I believe one of them is actually David Vishal, so I don't think he showed up on that grid. So I think Jordan Upton, Daniel Amor, Zane Khan, Alex O'Grady, Flynn McComfort, Rory O'Shea, Daniel Kelleher, then it's Ty Cuthbert, Jensen O'Neill going, and Daniel Vishal, the 10 drivers that are starting this heat. That's a shot of turn 1. That shot does not do it justice. That is, well, it's very downhill. Where it said about the 16 feet of elevation? Yeah, that's pretty much all of it, is that one corner there. Turn 1 here at Alaharma is a very, very tricky corner, but you want to take lots of that inside curve because you're going to get on the power very, very early. You can gain a lot of momentum as you get down that main straight, but we'll find out what's going to happen. Simon, I'm looking forward to this one. Are you?
Oh, I certainly am. I'm going to be keeping a track of the grids and the finishing order, so we have something to analyse during the breaks. So I'm probably going to be kept busy listening to Anthony's commentary and keeping one eye on the screen as we see everyone lining up there. The number 28, I think that is. Not sure who that is.
I believe that's Ty Cuthbert.
Lining up. Ty Cuthbert, Ty Cuthbert, obviously 2 of him racing in this race, so his chances are very good. As we prepare for lights out, we have 5 red lights.
Yep,
and
lights.
We're away now. The green flag flies, and we are away.
Yep, lights are out and off in towards turn number 1. Good start from the front of the grid. Already spins there. 3 karts off into the background. I believe Alex O'Grady, Ty Cuthbert and Rory O'Shea, the 3 karts there involved. The 1628 and the 05 as they go through. But a nice clear breakaway then for our top 4. And, well, Jordan Upton with an absolutely mega send there from P4 into 3rd. I don't think it worked out for him because he's still there in P4. Now we've got a clean breakaway from our top through. Daniel Amor and Zain Khan now with the breakaway as they go under the bridge for the first time. There's another spin just in the background there. Who is that? I believe possibly David Vishaw in the 27 with a spin. That's not what he'll like. He goes down to the back of the grid. We now exit into the final section of the track, back onto the start-finish line. So already back onto the start-finish line. Now this is a very, very quick lap around this circuit. It looks like a really long track, but they actually get round in less than a minute's time. So it's a very fast-flowing circuit for these drivers. Nice shot there as they disappear down that cascading turn 1. They come back into shot here, and again, just all over the back of Daniel Amor is Zain Khan. They disappear out of shot as they go over the bridge. And again, Khan looking like now, well, what's Khan going to do in this sort of situation? Because again, we're very early doors. We're 1.5 minutes into a 10-minute heat. Does he overtake quickly, use that momentum that he's got, and then just try and break away from the main pack? Or are these two going to work together, push together, and just push each other along? Zain Khan in the points, currently 7th after drop scores, 76 points in total, so he hasn't really got a chance to get in that top 2 this time around. But we'll have to see what happens at the end of this one, because you never know, maximum points, he could end up somewhere near that top 2. As a little wide there goes Daniel Amor. He does have the momentum as he exits out of turn 1, but he has to watch out because Khan will have the momentum here, but a nice clean breakaway for our top 2. Kelleher still there in 3rd place from Rory O'Shea, Ty Cuthbert, Finn McClumpher, Jordan Upton. He's dropped down into P7 now. O'Grady there in P8 from Vishaw, and Jensen O'Neill going the top 10. Grid separated by 15 seconds already after, of course, that crash that we saw at turn number 1. But just see how these drivers do. You can see we're on board now with Zain Khan in 2nd place. And right now, absolutely super glued to the back of Daniel Amor. It's got a good run here. Not going to pull out the slipstream though. It's just going to bump draft Daniel Amor all the way into turn 1. And again, Khan holding that slightly tighter line on the apex of the hairpin. But again, not getting any moves there, and a slight mistake from Khan, and that sees him now open up the gap a little further back. Kelleher still there in 3rd place. Currently, how far off? About 2-3 seconds off from these 3 up here. Now we're looking a little further down the order. This is P8 of Jordan Upton that you've got on your screens. He's got Alex O'Grady and Ty Cuthbert just ahead. Now they're in a nice little close group of 3 as they go through. You can just see there, a little wide there from Cuthbert as he exits out of the sort of top section of the track as they'll go under the bridge. Back onto the start-finish straight. 6 minutes left to go in this race, and it looks like Upton is struggling to keep up with the battle of O'Grady and Cuthbert, and O'Grady down the inside there at turn number 1 gets that move done. So O'Grady now up into P6. Ty Cuthbert struggling as sparks fly out from underneath the carts as they clout the curbs here at Alaharma. Over the bridge once again, and these drivers looking very controlled around this circuit. This is a very undulating, twisty circuit, but the corners are very cambered. There's a lot of positive camber, there's a lot of negative camber around some of these corners, but the drivers are using it to their advantage with how much speed that they can carry around this track. And of course, momentum is kind of key with 4-stroke karting, because unlike a conventional 2-stroke engine, you know, a 2-stroke engine can bog down quite easily, but a 4-stroke does also take a little bit of time. So momentum is key as we see them, well, a very ambitious dive down the inside there for Cuthbert, just trying to gain as much momentum as he can and using all the track and a little bit extra there. Back here at the front though, this is the battle for 1st place, and it's not changed. Khan still there in 2nd place, absolutely super glued to the back of Daniel Amor. But Amor holding strong here. But I have to say, Zain Khan's not going for the move. I think I think he's just happy where he is. Or this is, standard of what we see in a regular karting race in real life. These two drivers, they'll become frenemies through the session, and then in the last couple of laps, they'll then just completely overtake each other, or it'll end in tears. It's either way, really, of which way it goes. Hopefully not in the second one. Hopefully it's just a nice clean overtake, or not a clean overtake. It stays how it is, but we'll have to see as we go into the final 4 minutes of this race. And I have to say, I think Rory O'Shea is catching up to the back of Kelleher as well, so we'll keep an eye on that battle for P3. In fact, here it is, and, well, O'Shea already trying to make the move there on Kelleher. He's going through this back section now. He's going to have to cut back here as they go into it, but he's not going to have the optimal line as he exits out of this section. He is going to go for that switch back, but now he's on the outside line here as they go back onto the start-finish line. He's got to cut back into P4. Excellent driving from these two, but again, a lunge down the inside is favourable. He goes to the outside again, trying to get that switch back, but it's hard to do at turn 1 here because the momentum you can gain in terms of overtaking opportunities into this next hairpin is a favourable one as well to try and get the switch back. Disappears behind the bush, comes back side by side again, still can't get it done. O'Shea now still there in P3. Sorry, P4 for O'Shea. As they'll go under the bridge now. A very, very tough section of circuit here at Alaharma as they whiz around the back section again. This is where we saw O'Shea's best effort at getting into P3. This time around, not close enough, so hasn't got the momentum. And well, he's fourth in the points, 114 points in total after the drop scores. So Daniel looking like he's in a good spot here, P3 in this race, but he's going to have to try and hold on to this one as much as possible. Now we've got yellows in Sector 3. I'm not sure what's caused that, but it clears quickly. And again, here comes O'Shea, side by side. Oh, it's so close as they go under the bridge there. And, well, Daniel Keller gave just enough space there to O'Shea, just to squeeze him alongside, but O'Shea still not able to make that move. And again, as they go down the start-finish line in towards turn number 1, it's just not going to happen this time. Goes to the outside, switchback, slight mistake there, and oh dear. Contact between the two of them, a completely unavoidable contact, I have to say. I don't think anyone at fault there, more racing incident as the driver's going through, and O'Shea and Keller, now the gap's opened up between them. It's about 0.7 of a second, so they're going to have to close that back up. Back here with the race lead, though, and still no change. Khan still there in P2. They've got an advantage now of 8 seconds from the rest of the field. I would say that was a pretty sizable buffer that they've got to start battling, but as we see, no moves into turn 1. They just stay absolutely superglued to each other. We go back on board with Zain Khan. And again, these two, absolutely nothing between them. Brilliant driving from these two. O'Grady's still there in P5 though. McClumpher still there P6. Vishaw in 7th place. Cuthbert in 8th place. Upton now down into P9. So Jordan Upton not having a good start to this race and to this evening. Jensen O'Neill going also there P10. So less than a minute to go on the timer. 30 seconds left. Of course, if the timer strikes 0, that's when the checker flag goes out. So we are going on to the final lap this time around, and these drivers will know it. Back here with 3rd place, and again, O'Shea's caught up to the back of Keller, and now they're trying to battle once again in towards turn number 1. And Khan's actually gone into the race lead as well. So a change for the race lead. Khan has waited till the final lap, as round the outside once again goes O'Shea. We don't know what to look at here. There's two great battles going on, but here side by side, back for the race lead, Khan and Amor. Daniel Amor back down the inside, gets it done. retakes the lead here. What can Khan do in response? Again, down into the bridge section. It's so close. They both come out side by side. Once again on the outside now is Khan, and he makes it done. He makes the move, but Amor fights back instantly, but can't quite get the move done. So Zain Khan, out of the final corner, he will take Heat 1 race win from Daniel or Willie. Oh, it was Daniel Amor. Oh, it was side by side across the line. And Daniel Amor, he had the waft out of the corner. There's the battle for third crossing the line. Keller still takes it from O'Shea. O'Grady crosses in 5th place, but Daniel Amor, wow, he had the momentum out of the corner, pulled out of the slipstream at the final moment, and it was side by side across the line. But Daniel Amor in the number 8 takes Heat 1 from Zain Khan, Daniel Kelleher, Rory O'Shea, Alex O'Grady, McClumpher, Cuthbert, Vishal, Upton, and Jensen O'Neill going the top 10. Wow. Well, in terms of, final, that felt more of a final than a first heat there, Simon.
It did, yeah. I was so amazed at the pace of the leading two. They were gaining, I've done the calculations here because I'm a whiz with maths apparently.
Go on.
2 seconds a lap faster in the first couple of laps than P3. That was a fantastic battle though, right the way throughout. And then saving it to the last minute, all the way up to the finish line. I would love to know the margin that Amor won by there. It can't be more than a bumper. It was absolutely incredible action from the front too.
It was thinner than a Whiskers kitten, I would say it was, but it was, it was absolutely nothing between the two, but brilliant stuff from them. I mean, all the way through that race, you saw them just absolutely super glued to the back of each other, and that's kind of standard of what we'd see in real-life karting. Of course, these drivers, race in the real world as well, and, Daniel Amor, he is one of them. He was at Kart Masters, of course, a few weeks ago, and, the racing that you see in that is line astern all the way throughout sort of the heat, and then the move would happen on the last lap. Basically, they're learning where the drivers go. They're learning where they're positioning the kart and where they can potentially send a move down the inside. And we saw in that one lap about 4 overtakes in one lap. So it just shows that the Alaharma circuit has got plenty of overtaking opportunities, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Now it has to be said, it's a great shame that Callum Atkins wasn't involved in that battle, because that would be something else. But fantastic action on that last lap. Like you said, 4 overtakes, absolutely incredible. The amount of times that I held my breath as they went underneath the crossover. How did they not crash?
I mean,
amazing.
You have to put credit as well to the people who developed the circuit as well, because they have to put invisible walls as like barriers, otherwise you'd just drive through things, and they got it just right there for the apex, I think, as they go under the bridge, because those drivers were absolutely millimeters away from just smashing into that sort of Armco barrier at the apex as they go under the bridge. So close. I can imagine if you were doing that race in VR, it'd be absolutely terrifying, and I'm sure if you were doing it in real life as well, even more terrifying. Which is probably why no one's gone back there in so long, because it's terrifying to go under that bridge. But but again, brilliant circuit, brilliant racing, and that's just the first heat. We've still got heat 2. We've still got a final to go as well. But I think we could talk for quite a while. But before we do that, you've done some onboard laps, I believe, Simon.
I might have done.
Oh,
yes,
I might have
done. Oh yeah, well, there's nothing like it. You have to build up the anticipation, Anthony. You know yourself. I have been asked by Tillotson to do a brief onboard lap commentary of the International Kartodromo Lucas Guerrero in Valencia, which is a fantastic name for a fantastic track.
Now, why specifically that circuit, though, Simon?
Because that is the home, very good transition there, Anthony, of this year's Tillotson T4 Nations Cup, taking place at the end of September 29th to October 2nd of this year. Well, here we go then for a hot lap of the International Kartodromo Lucas Guerrero, the home of this year's Nations Cup. On board with Mark French, across the line we come, down towards turn 1 on the start-finish straight. Keep it out wide on the entry, 100 kilometers an hour plus as we approach turn 1. Late apex, let it slide out to the outside of the track, flat through the kink of 2, hard braking into turn 3. This Hairpin turns into a chicane. Be careful to avoid both the curbs. 4 and 5, they merge into one corner. Take the apex of 5, keep it tight on the exit, and then feed it into 6. The tightest corner on the track, very important to get a good exit as we come on to this long straight. Best way of doing that, absolutely acing the apex now as we come down towards turn 9. Fantastic overtaking opportunity, hard on the brakes into 9. Kiss the inside of the curb, keep it tight on exit, and flat out through turn 10. This brings us to turn 11 and to a moment of respite on the back straight where the engine will be topping out come the Nations Cup at the end of September. Moments respite before we tackle turns 12 and 13 and then immediately faced with a hard braking zone into 14 and 15. Touching both the curbs, careful not to unsettle the kart, and that is a lap of Valencia.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tillotson T4 Esports Series. Heat 1 has just finished out on circuit. Heat 2 is coming up in just a moment's time. Now, quick trivia thing for you here, Simon. What they didn't tell you in that Tidal advert, that person lifting all the weights and doing all the skiing, that's me. They just didn't show my face.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
never would have guessed. Never would have guessed that, Anthony. Really?
Yeah. Did you not know that? No.
No, I didn't actually, funnily enough, yeah.
No,
I never would have guessed.
No, it's uncommon knowledge, that one. Uncommon knowledge.
Really?
Yeah. I think I played that one off well. Do you think? No. Anyway.
You got away with it, mate.
I think I got away with that one. Anyway, Heat 2 coming up in just a moment's time. Reminder of the previous race, of course. We had, Daniel Moore won that one by, nothing really from Zain Khan. We've got it back out again. Of course, this time around, I believe, a reverse grid that we've got. So David Vishal starting on pole position, Jensen O'Neill going, Ty Cuthbert, Daniel Clare, Rory O'Shea, Flynn McClumpher, Alex O'Grady, Zain Khan, Daniel Moore, and Jordan Upton starting at the back of the grid this time around. So a bit of a shake-up from what we saw in the first one. And we saw that there was a couple of spins on the first corner on the first lap in Heat 1, so let's see if they've learnt their lesson from that one as we look here at turn number 1 once again. But I've got a feeling we're going to see, I think we're going to see another close race on this one. But are those drivers going to be able to make it through the pack? Because Amor and Khan starting 8th and 9th in this one, they've got to fight through the field this time around. It's going to be a tricky one, isn't it?
It certainly is, and if last race was anything to go by, we can expect them to be at the front within maybe 6 or 7 metres of starting the race, because their pace at the beginning of last race was absolutely blistering. And, turn 1 is going to be quite possibly an issue as we rev up to the lights. Anthony, take over for me.
Thank you very much. 2 seconds, 1 second, lights go out, and here we go. Great start then from the second row of the grid. Kelleher there with the breakaway, but almost gets bogged down slightly there as the main pack comes through, and already a spin, and I don't want to suggest anything, but I may have seen a sneaky pit maneuver there. I'm not going to lie. Welcome to the live stream. Joining us from, I believe, the sofa not far away from the Wilton Mill circuit, to Summer and Chloe, who are joining us on the live stream. So welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the show out there. 9.5 minutes to go as the rest of the pack go through. Vishaw leading the way. David Vishaw, not by much though, 0.3 of a second. We're looking here at the battle for 5th place. This is Ty Cuthbert and Alex O'Grady going nose to tail, and once again the switch over there between the two of them. But they both make it round the corner, unbelievably, as Zain Khan comes through and just says, now I'm going to take that spot now. So yeah, through I go, and you're not going to do anything about it. There we go. Back here at the sharper end. Who have we got here? This is Jensen O'Neill going, who we are following. He's got Flynn McComfort, Daniel Amore, who's managed to get up into P2. And actually, I believe, yeah, so Daniel Amore still there in P2. David Vishaw holding the way. Now, Vishaw's opened up a gap now of 1.6 seconds. Is the gap from Vishaw and Daniel Amore in second place. This is Jensen O'Neill going, still there in P6. Little mistake there out of the hairpin. Now dropping down into P7, just behind Rory O'Shea now. So O'Shea not managing to close up as much as possible, and round goes Jensen O'Neill going. Not sure if it was help there or it was just the curb that caused that. Here's a replay of what happened there, and I think I don't think he was helped there. I just think it was a slight mistake, and unfortunately Rory O'Shea was so close behind. But we'll leave that one down to race control, and I'm so glad it's not me who's in race control, I will say. 7.5 minutes to go in this heat number 2. Back here with the battle for P4. This is Flynn McComfort. He's got O'Grady and Daniel Amore just in front. I think Zain Khan's in this group as well. He is, yeah, Zain Khan just at the back of that. So Khan making moves in this one, but not managing to get past these two, or is so now. Nice little cheeky move down the inside of Flynn McComfort there. And Zain Khan now up into P4. O'Grady with the breakaway. Now, is Daniel Amore closing in on Vishaw? That's the question. Sector time through Sector 2, a little bit faster from Amore. Sector 3, oh, actually quite a lot faster from Amore. About, oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. A little bit slower was Daniel Amore in Sector 3 on that last lap. So the gap is fluctuating. It's going up and down for the time being. So David Vishaw with the momentum in the lead with track position is starting to pull away. Zain Khan then, he's just managed to get himself back up into P3 as someone going a little bit wide out of the third hairpin here at Alaharma. We look here at O'Grady, who's behind Zain Khan in P4. Now O'Grady, he's got the option here of just sticking behind Zain Khan, just to close that gap up to the group behind. Of course, Khan now with the momentum can see Daniel Amore up ahead, can see David Vishaw up ahead, and again the gap just fluctuating, not closing, not opening up. But we'll keep an eye on this battle for P3. I think the one thing Alex O'Grady doesn't want to do now is go for the move. I think the best thing to do is to stick behind Zain Khan and just push each other along to close that gap. Work together. 8 wheels work better than 4 in this scenario. You can push each other along the straights. You can get the bump draft and the toe. But we'll have to see what O'Grady will do. He doesn't go for the move here. So again, I think it's the better way. A little wide there from Zain Khan. Got to be careful he doesn't invite O'Grady to go down the inside, because then they will lose these top 2 who are not breaking away still, though. Again, the gap is still closing down. But again, plenty of action on this one. If you are just joining us and are curious about what you're watching the T4 Tillotson Esports series, or the Tillotson T4 Esports series. There we go, get it out right. Run on the rFactor 2 platform. It's using the kart sim software through rFactor 2. We are using the Tillotson T4 Esports package for the final round, round 6 of the championship. And the final round, of course, we will crown our champions at the end of this one. We will find out who is going to be going to Valencia for the Nations Cup at the end of this weekend, but not at the end of this race. This is only Heat 2. The final is coming up next. 4 minutes to go. And the gap for the race lead has come now down under a second from Daniel Moore and David Vishaw. Vishaw still there in the race lead. We are here now with the race lead, and again, looking comfortable, but the gap has closed in by quite a bit. And those two just behind there in P3 and P4 are still slowly closing in. I reckon we're going to have a 4-car battle for the end of this race. We'll have to see as, oh, look at this now. Khan and O'Grady have really closed in on Daniel Amor. Amor not in comfortable ground. And this is looking very, very interesting going into the last 3.5 minutes of this race. Again, who has got the momentum? And again, they're all learning at this stage of the race. This is exactly what we saw in Heat 1 with the 2 drivers, but now we've got 4 of them. And now here we go. But you've got to be careful here because there is still a gap between Vishaw and Amor. The only way all 4 of these drivers are going to have an opportunity to win this race is if Daniel Amor can close in on Vishaw. If O'Grady goes for the move on Khan, they'll drop back and they'll lose the battle for the lead. They need to stay line astern. This is all down really to Daniel Amor and what he can do. If Amor can go for the lead, that will allow the 2 behind to close in, and a slight mistake there from Alex O'Grady while we're on board. And drops back, and that allows side by side now Amor and Khan. Khan with second place, but on the outside, Amor comes back at him. And now that's allowed O'Grady to close right back in, and also Vishaw has managed to open that gap up once again. The gap now back up to 0.6 of a second, still a very small gap. But Vishaw now looking a little bit more comfortable. So, a chink in the armory from Alex O'Grady. He's going to have to compose himself and try again as Zain Khan looks down the inside at hairpin 1, slots back into P3, can't get the momentum out of the hairpin, in towards hairpin 2 now. They'll go over the bridge. This is where we like to see the moves. This is where the moves come in down the inside. Are we going to see one this time around? No. Everyone hugging that inside line. Back down now, down the hill, under the bridge. Clipping the apexes, up the hill they'll go into the final sector. And again now, Vishaw under pressure from Daniel Amor. It's a train of 4, the battle for the lead. Just over a minute to go in this race. We've got a few more laps left in it. In towards turn number 1, and again, Vishaw's gone defensive. That's the crucial thing. Vishaw defensive, and Daniel Amor around the outside. 3 wide now. 3 wide. Daniel Amor, Zain Khan and Alex O'Grady. They slot back into position, and no one gains any positions. But that was so close, and crucially now, Daniel Amor, he went slightly defensive on the inside of hairpin 1 there. So now that's allowing Vishaw to open that gap once again. Famous quote by one driver at a certain circuit, racing or ping pong? Well, this at the moment, this feels like ping pong because it's going backwards and forwards all the way throughout this one. And once again, they've closed up. Vishaw leads from Amor, Khan, O'Grady. O'Shea's in 5th place, and I have to say, O'Shea's starting to close in. You can see him in the back of shot now as we go side by side for 3rd place. O'Grady now has got into P3, and he goes around the outside here, trying to get all of them in one, loses the positions, and now 3 wide. It's going to end in tears, and over and round goes Daniel Amor, the number 8, out of this race. And, well, how quickly it can go wrong, and, well, the race control is going to have to deal with that one at the end of that, but that just looked to me like 3 karts battling for the same piece of tarmac, and it just wasn't going to work. Here's a replay of what happened there. So it was out of hairpin 1, and as they go through, it looked like a bold move there by, I think that was Rory O'Shea. Don't quote me on that. I think, no, it was Alex O'Grady, who I think, with the move down the inside. It was O'Grady with the move down the inside, but the checker flag goes out at the end of that one, and David Vishaw will take the Heat 2 win from Zane Khan, Alex O'Grady. Rory O'Shea will cross the line to finish in P4. Flynn McClump for their finishing in P5. Daniel Kelleher finishes in P6, and Jordan Upton, Ty Cuthbert, Jensen O'Neill going, and Daniel Amor will finish in P10 after that roll. And, well, whoa, that was a close race all the way throughout. And like I say, Simon, we'll come back to you now, and that's, again, one of those sort of situations where we don't like to see, really, where it comes to be a super close race, and then all of a sudden it'll either end in greatness or it'll end in tears. And unfortunately, at the end of that, it ended in tears, didn't it?
Yeah, so unfortunate for Daniel Amor. He was up to P2 within a lap, starting right down at the back. It was so impressive to watch him taking advantage of that collision on lap 1 at turn 1. And to be taken out in such an accident as that, and that's really going to play havoc for him in the final, because obviously the grid positions for the final are taken from the results of the heats. He has scored a win, and now he's finished down in 10th place with, well, it would be a DNF, but obviously it's a simulator, so he just finishes down in 10th. Yeah. So that means to say that Khan is going to be starting on pole, and Amor is probably going to be down somewhere like P5, which isn't going to be good for him for the championship standings. But so disappointing to see such a good race end on the final lap with a collision like that.
Yeah, especially a roll as well in such a fast section of circuit. Now, ladies and gents, don't go anywhere, because that was only Heat 2 that you saw there. There is one more race coming up, and it is the final, of course. We're going to take a short break. We will be back in a moment's time with that final in just a few minutes' time.
Make sure to follow Tillotson on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. The T4 Esports series first premiered last year in the weeks leading up to the World Cup, after more than 2 years being developed by Tillotson crew in cooperation with KartSim. The idea for a virtual T4 kart and later the T4 Esports series came from a desire to give existing T4 drivers a platform to practice on away from the track, to give those unable to race in real life the chance to do so virtually, and to give sim racers the chance to test their virtual skills in real life karting. It's for this reason that Tillotson are offering 2 tickets to compete in this year's Nations Cup, valued at €2,500 each. Tillotson's ethos of making T4s accessible to anyone can be seen in the real-life T4 package, which has been made as accessible as possible, making almost everything in-house. It's this fact that means that the T4 package is not just financially affordable, but accessible to those just starting out in karting who aren't as familiar, maybe, with how to run a kart as more experienced racers. This, as well as tightly regulating how the kart can be set up, means that Tillotson has been able to offer the close racing that the T4s provide at an extremely reasonable price. This accessibility is what has led to the T4 series becoming a go-to series for both novices and experienced racers in more than 25 regions worldwide. Let's take a look at those prices. Starting is always the most expensive part of racing. However, Tillotson have made every effort to make taking up T4 racing as affordable as possible. It's important to remember that the equipment required for starting can be used for multiple years, or, if money requires it, can be bought second-hand. In the case of minis, the cart and trolley can be found being sold second-hand as drivers graduate up into the junior category. The nature of the series also means that second-hand equipment depreciates in performance and value very little, meaning a kart can still be capable of being fast and winning races, even if it's not new. To buy everything new, however, will come with an initial cost of roughly €4,720 for minis and around €5,500 for juniors and seniors, including VAT. The cost of running a T4 kart over a season is also remarkably low. In a sport where the cost of running a kart can run into 5 or 6 figures per season at national and international levels, Tillotson have estimated a T4 junior or senior kart can be run for just over €4,000 per season. This includes entry fees, which may vary between regions, and a €1,000 damage allowance. So, if you're a careful driver and treat the kart well, this total could be significantly lower. With the T4 series expanding constantly, it's only a matter of time before there's one where you are. Until then, why don't you jump on Kart Sim and practice in our virtual T4s while you wait? Tillotson has been fueling innovation for more than 100 years, and we're continuing that tradition by expanding our product range consisting of Tillotson carburetors and engines, the T4 kart packages and PVL ignition coils, to include Tidal Sport products, because Tillotson are now the Irish importer for Tidal Sport. Developed alongside Conor McGregor, Tidal plant-powered cryotherapy spray is a revolutionary new pre- and post-workout recovery spray to rejuvenate your joints and muscles. Go to tillotson.ie/shop to get yours today.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gents. Final is upon us in just a moment's time. We've had two amazing first heats. Heat 1, the closest finish we've seen. Heat 2, the biggest crash we've ever seen. What is the final going to be? Is it going to be the closest, biggest crash we've ever seen across the line? Maybe. Who knows? Simon, final race of the day, final race of the season this year. It's been a cracking one, hasn't it? 4 months have led up to this moment. And, I mean, what are we going to see at the end of this one?
Hopefully not as big of a crash as we did in Heat 2. And, well, I mean, you have to say that it's a fitting way to end off the series if you saw the first couple of races. But, you know, for me, it's been an absolute pleasure working with alphalive for this and commentating on such close racing. It's always so much fun, particularly when you're working with someone as professional as the alphalive crew. But, yeah, all of that aside, really looking forward to the final 12 minutes of action, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see if Amor can climb back up the order and potentially take Khan and potentially take his seat at the T4 Nations Cup. Obviously, the two of them, actually, no, I might be wrong in saying that. I think Khan is quite a way down the order. So it will be interesting, however, to see if Daniel Amor can take Rory O'Shea, because those two are obviously battling for a place at the T4 Nations Cup. The top two finishers in the championship going to the Nations Cup. So it's going to be interesting to watch that, as well as all the battles up and down the field that we've seen this evening and every other evening, as a matter of fact. But yeah, really, really excited for the final.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to it. There are penalties coming into effect at the end of that Heat 2. They are coming in thick and fast, I will say. So if the grid order looks a little bit strange to you, it's probably because of that. 5-second time penalties being added onto several drivers. I believe one of them being O'Grady, I believe one of them, I think, and David Vishaw as well with a penalty. Now, David won that race, but he didn't win it by 5 seconds. So where does that put him, I think, at the end of that one? I don't really have the timing. It's all refreshed now, which is a shame. But so Vishaw now with that 5-second time penalty won't see him start anywhere near the front, I don't suspect. I think that might see him drop down a little bit, but I can see the Discord chat on my PC kind of like behind the camera is just lit up with comments at the moment going, it wasn't my fault, that was his fault. No, it was his fault, it wasn't my fault. What are you talking about? Basically a standard meeting in a steward's office, I think, at any racetrack.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's not like racing drivers to accept the blame, is it? I think Sebastian Vettel once said that he's a racing driver, which means he has to have an excuse. But yeah, really unfortunate for Vishaw, having controlled that race pretty much from start to finish and held off the 3 karts behind him to get that penalty. Obviously, that's the steward's decision, and we have to respect that. But he's going to be so annoyed at that penalty.
Well, I mean, yeah, potentially. I mean, you know, penalties do come thick and fast, but it's only a heat race. I mean, the most important one is the final, and if you can keep it clean in the final, then you're all gravy. So, you know, don't stress about it. Don't stress about a couple of positions here, there, everywhere. Yes, it might benefit you in the longer run, but there's only one more race to go. It's at the end of the season, so hopefully everyone's going to behave themselves and not go, right, let's a final hurrah, ladies and gents. Let's all just send it. Please don't. Keep it clean and tidy, please, all the way through this final. And like you say, 12 minutes, so it's a little bit longer this time around. So when they think they're crossing the line and think, oh, it's done. Oh, no, wait, there's still 2 minutes to go. So, you know, there's just that little bit of that drivers are going to have to get used to, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be fairly knowledgeable about the lengths of time that the races take. Having done. You don't reckon?
No. There's not much that goes on in a driver's head, I can tell you that. Apart from go fast.
Having done 5 finals, each being 12 minutes, they're going to forget that this one is in fact 12 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Anthony's prediction in a nutshell. I'm predicting that it's all going to go swimmingly and that nothing's going to happen apart from incredibly close racing for the final race of this year's T4 Esports series. I nearly forgot the name of it there, which
it's been a long year.
For a commentator.
It's been a long year, hasn't it? We're near the end now. I think we'll have to take down the bunting. We'll crack open a bottle of the bubbly at the end of this one and just think, wee. But
funny you should say that, because I've actually got some here with me.
There we go. Other brands are available, ladies and gentlemen, for your zesty orange beverages. I'm sure my co-commentator would disagree with that choice of beverages. He's a man of the Taste Divine brew, and again, more carbonated beverages of the orange type are available at your local supermarkets. But I think, ladies and gents, after a multitude of penalties and talking in the steward's office, we are finally ready. The final of this year's Tillotson T4 Esports Series is upon us. Well, here we go then, ladies and gents, the starting grid for not that one. We'll look for the final one in just a moment's time. But the starting grid, of course, for the final race of the season. And here is how it's going to look. 2 points then. The lowest scoring driver, Zane Khan, will start on the front row from Rory O'Shea in P2. Jordan Upton and Daniel Kelleher with 6 and 8 points start from row 2. Flynn McClumpher and Alex O'Grady with 8 and 9 points go from row number 3. The final 2 rows, Daniel Amor and David Vishaw will start from positions 7 and 8 with 10 and 11 points in total. Ty Cuthbert and Jensen O'Neill go from the 5th grid. And I believe someone's just been put to the back of the grid for a bit of a brouhaha. So unlike in real world, on the sim racing world, it's very easy to just put someone from one position to another position in the blink of an eye, which is what's just happened to David Vishaw. I should have to say. So Vishaw's now starting at the back of the grid. I won't say why, but he is. Well, we're on the grid now. No, we're actually in the warm-up session here, so I don't think they're going to be lining up on the grid in just a moment's time. I think they're actually driving around on the warm-up session for the time being, as someone whizzes through shot there. Well, Simon, it's the final race of the season, final race of the year, final race for everyone. As you can see, the famous R-Factor words there coming in our ears. What do we expect from this one? Who do you reckon is going to take the final win here?
Well, Khan's starting on pole, obviously, and we've seen the fantastic pace that he's been displaying. So for me, I don't like to say it because T4 racing is always so close. But I think Khan's got this, mate, honestly. The pace that he showed in heat number 1 and heat number 2, I reckon he's got this in the bag. Yeah,
well, it's you know what? That's the safe bet. I think it's a good call that you've made there, but like we say, this is karting where anything is unpredictable, and to make it a little bit more unpredictable, this is sim racing karting. So anything could quite literally happen in this, ladies and gents. So sit back, relax, get the popcorn out, get the kettle on, grab the gin. No, don't do that. I mean, if you're of age, grab a gin. But yeah, I know that's something I would do. But yeah, whack the kettle on and relax and tune in for the final race of the year. 12 minutes in total, and we're going to crown our champions in this one. The drivers there lined up on the grid. And I think there's a little bit of chopping and changing going on. And bit of confusion there. I can see in the Discord chat that Daniel Moore thinks he's on pole position for this one, but he's actually starting from 7th. He was trying to argue that fact, but never mind. 4, 3, 2, 1, 12 minutes. Here we go for the final race of the 2022 Tillotson T4 Esports Series. Great start from the entire grid, 4 wide in the back of shot. This time around, we get down through turn 1, nice and clean. Another little bit of a collision there between 3 of them in the back of shot, but everyone gets through nicely. Nice breakaway at the front. Zane Khan pulling away the main gap at the moment. He got Rory O'Shea and Daniel Kelleher there in 2nd and 3rd. But back here, this is P4 Jordan Upton in the number 19. He's on the outside there. He's just had Daniel Moore go down the inside. So O'Moore from 7th all the way up into P4. And we're not even halfway around the first lap. So a great start from Daniel Moore once again. But can he close up to the race leader, Zane Khan? Here with Jordan Upton once again in that number 19. You can see him there just in the blue and white liveried suit in between the pink and the orange there of Daniel Moore and Alex O'Grady. Up a little further, nice little lunge down the inside there from O'Grady. And David Vishaw goes through as well. So chopping and changing in that mid-pack section. Battle for 4th place. We've got Amor, Vishaw, O'Grady and Upton on your screens here. But again, no lunges taken this far around. Zane Khan slowly opening that gap at the race lead. It's nearly at about a second, that gap from Rory O'Shea. So just looking at the lap times, it was a 57.7 on the last lap from Khan, 58.5 from O'Shea. Of course, those lap times will go down as they cross the lap, or cross the line, I should say. And 52.3 comes in from Zain Khan. 52.3 as well from Keller, who's just managed to get up now into P2. He's got past O'Shea. It's the battle that you've got on your screen now. So this is the battle for second place. Count them all. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. 3 wide for second place. And oh, that almost ended in tears. O'Shea managing to just hold on to that one, but Kelleher now starting to show. Has he been sandbagging all the way through Heat 1 and 2? Because now he's got some waft in this race. And he's in P2 now, but is he closing on the race leader at this moment? The answer to that is no. The gap has opened up to around 2 seconds, but that's only because he's defending furiously from the 4 cuts. He's got breathing down the back of his neck. O'Shea, Amor, and O'Grady all there, and a defensive goes Kelleher. O'Shea and Amor down the around the outside. Now there's 5 carts involved in this battle, and look at that. You can see Khan just slowly breaking away. 2.4 seconds is the advantage. All these drivers scrapping for second place. They need to just work together to close that gap. But are you going to tell them to work together? I'm certainly not. So I think we'll leave them to it. Down the inside there goes Vishaw. He just gets up into P4 now from O'Shea. Just in front in P3. Daniel Moore now back down into P5. So he's the 4th kart in this group that you're seeing. O'Grady now joining in the fray as well. Ty Cuthbert still there, P7. Jordan Upton there in P8 from McClumford, and Jensen O'Neill going there in P10. Eyes on this battle for P2. And, well, in Heat 1, it was 2 karts. In Heat 2, it was 4 karts. Now it's 5 karts, and once again, it's all ended in tears at the same part of the track that it did last time. Karts having to take to the grass to avoid contact. They may have to give up a place or two. I'm not quite sure who that was who went wide. It was one of the yellowish karts, so I think it's the one who's at the back of this group now. So I believe it was Vishaw in the 27 who had to take evasive action there. But he has gone to the back of this group, showing that, yeah, okay, that was my mistake to avoid contact. I'll drop to the back, which is good driving from Vishaw. So, on board now with Daniel Amor, the number 8. You can see there the 16 of O'Shea, and, well, Daniel Kelleher there. There was a robust move, but I don't think that he saw, or don't think that he knew that O'Shea was there. And now Daniel Amor goes down the inside of O'Shea. O'Shea closes the door back and retakes second or third place overall. Second in this group. And once again, all 5 of them have closed up. Well, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be interesting once again as Amor back down the inside, back up into P3, second in that group. Zain Khan now clear by 4.7 seconds, and it's just growing. Now 5.2 seconds as this group just keeps on scrapping for second place. I'm curious as to when Ty Cuthbert, Flynn McComfort, Jensen O'Neill going, and Jordan Upton start to close in. Because, well, they're all still there. There's still 6.5 minutes to go. If there's 6.5 minutes of this, I don't think I'm going to keep up as sideways under-braking O'Shea with a massive lock-up there. Just absolutely Tokyo drifts it down the apex there of David Vishaw, and straight off the track. And who was that? It was David Vishaw, who's gone completely off the circuit, and I'm not sure what happened there. Was it contact that caused that to happen, or a malfunction? So we'll slow it down. He goes down the inside. Oh, and it's well, there we go. I think proof is in the pudding on that one of what you just saw there. So Vishaw out of this race and through P9, and that's opened up this group now tremendously. So Khan with the 6.6 second lead from O'Grady and Daniel Amor, who are now line astern. Daniel Kelleher, who's there in P4, not managing to close in now as he's lost the momentum. He was leading that group of 5 karts for quite some time. But I don't think he's going to have the pace, the waft now to keep up with this group. Here is back with Rory O'Shea and Ty Cuthbert now. So his drivers obviously after that incident have dropped back in the order a little bit. McClumpher's now up into P5. Cuthbert still there in P7, just behind Rory O'Shea, who are following here. Jensen O'Neill-Goings managed to get up into P8 now from Jordan Upton. That will of course be because of the retirement from David Vishaw. You can see there the look at the tyre marks as the drivers have really stressed the tyres through turn 1. 4.5 minutes to go. We're on board with Rory O'Shea in P6, the number 16, going over the bridge now. So drivers holding a very tight line into the corner here, then sweeping it back out. So that's an interesting line there, because a lot of drivers in the real world, you've seen the on-board of how they do this track, and they take a much wider entry line into that one. Of course, these drivers probably holding a slightly more defensive line as they go round the corner, but interesting racing lines that we're seeing there. Just under 4 minutes to go now. This is the battle for third place. And Amor still behind O'Grady. And Amor not going for the move yet. So Amor doing what he thinks is the right thing to do. Feels like O'Grady's got the pace. And in a way, he's not wrong. Zain Khan still leading by now 5.5 seconds. On the last lap, Alex O'Grady was faster than Zain Khan, but only by a whisker. It was a 51.969 from Khan. It was a 51.931 from O'Grady. Nevertheless, it was faster. And again on that lap, also faster, 52 from Zain Khan. But there now, O'Grady's gone wide, and that's going to open the door up for Daniel Amor, but Amor's not taken the bait. Amor's just going to stay there in P3. Thinks that O'Grady's got the momentum, but the gap is not closing at a rate that I think they want. 2.5 minutes to go, and Zain Khan looking very comfortable here in the race lead. I mean, came into this weekend, drop scores, Zain Khan 76 points. Alex O'Grady came into this weekend not even in the top 10 on the current standings of drop scores. Alex O'Grady in total, after Heat 4, where was Alex? He was fair down the order. He has had a total of 63 total race points. That was before drop scores at the end of round 4. So he's not had a good old season, has Alex O'Grady, but showing here that he likes the Alaharma circuit, and showing that he's got the pace around it. Yellow's in sector 1. They clear quickly. This is still now on board with Amor. Again, just watching the racing lines there. Pretty glued to the circuit, I have to say. These drivers having a nice smooth race, but there you could just hear it in the engine note there. Carry a little bit too much speed into a corner and you can bog down. And that has caused now a gap to open up between the two of them. So less than 90 seconds left on the timer. Zain Khan then leads the way in the final race of the 2022 Tillotson T4 Esports series from Alex O'Grady. Daniel Amor there in P3, which is the battle on your screen. O'Shea is there in 4th, from McClumpher in 5th place. Keller there in 6th place from Upton. Cuthbert and Jensen O'Neill-Goings. Only one retirement in this one, David Vishaw, after a questionable move down the inside of the second hairpin a few laps ago. But as the timer goes under 1 minute, Zain Khan crosses the line to start his final lap, and this now is the final lap for P2. Will Amor go for the move into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Barring disaster, This looks like it will be Zane Khan's for the taking, but who is going to take second place? O'Grady and Amor. Line astern. O'Grady holds on to the inside, holds the tighter line, but watch for the switch back here from Amor. Hasn't got the momentum out of the corner, but now's got the momentum as they go up the hill, now across the crest. Here's your race leader, though. He'll come across the line. It's looking all favourable. It's looking all good for Zane Khan to take the final heat win for round 6 at Alaharma. Zane Khan takes it. But who will cross in second place? It looks like it's going to be O'Grady, because Daniel Amor this time around hasn't got the waft to close that gap and get alongside. So it's Zane Khan from Alex O'Grady and Daniel Amor, your top 3. Rory O'Shea will finish the race in P4 from Flynn McClumpher. Daniel Keller will take 6th place from Jensen O'Neill going. Jordan Upton, Ty Cuthbert, and David Vishal crossing the line in P10, also with a 5-second timer penalty that I am told. And of course, why not the celebratory donuts at the end of the season? Why not? Why not? I think they've all deserved it after that one. And hey, maybe go the wrong way down the track for a little bit as well. Well, there we go. What a final from that one. And I have to say, great prediction from yourself there, Simon. Zane Khan took it quite comfortably, didn't he?
Sorry if you picked that up. He did, yeah. If I was a gambling man, I would have put the house on it. But maybe I should be a gambling man in this case. But yeah, fantastic to see such a commanding drive from Khan. Really such a shame for him that he wasn't right up there in the top of the point standings. Otherwise, he would have had a really good chance of getting a drive at the T4 Nations Cup. Now, that's not to say that he can't. We do have to wait for the results to all be calculated and whatnot, because like you said earlier, the worst 3 rounds are dropped and the best 3 rounds are what counts. So there is still potentially a mathematical chance, but it is very, very slim for Zane Khan.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to attempt the maths or anything like that. So at the moment in time, because there are so many penalties that have come in terms of telling you who is the champion for senior and junior this year, I just can't tell you because I don't know. It's going to have to be worked out a little bit later on, and of course those results will get posted out on the Tillotson T4 social media platforms, as well as I presume the alphalive platform as well. So if you're not following Tillotson or alphalive on any of the social media platforms, make sure you do, because then you get all the up-to-date antics for that one. And of course, next up for Tillotson, it's the Nations Cup, Simon.
Yes, and I'm going to be there, so make sure you follow along. Yes, I know, I'm going to Spain, boys. I'm living the high life here. Yeah, make sure you follow all the Tillotson social medias to follow along with whatever I do out there. I don't really know. I'm going to be commentating. That's as much as I really know at this stage. And yeah, I'm going to be commentating T4s. Second year in a row that I've been doing it. Last year it was absolutely great fun, and this year it's in Spain, so the weather's just going to be gorgeous. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And we're going to be seeing 2 of our racers here tonight. Well, potentially 2. Obviously, Calai Atkins wasn't taking part. There's a good chance that he'll be there if it comes to pass that he is in the top 2 of the standings. We will be seeing 2 T4 Esports drivers there nonetheless, whoever they may be. Like Anthony said, check out social medias, they'll be posted there. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing how they perform in real life T4 karting.
Yeah, definitely so. I'll be keeping a close eye on it myself. There we go. Well, I mean, Simon, there's only one thing we can really say now, and that is, I think, thank you to everyone who has joined us over this season. A big thank you to everyone behind the scenes as well at Tillotson, who have put in a huge amount of effort to make sure this series goes ahead. A huge thanks to everyone at Alpha Live, of course, bringing you the live feed that you have been witnessing as well. And, of course, everyone at home who have been tuning in on the live stream, bringing us your comments, bringing your predictions as well. And, of course, course, a big thank you to all the drivers as well. Without all of these people, we couldn't go racing and bring you the feed that you were seeing today. And Simon as well, a big thank you to yourself as well with all the points and everything like that, with the handy little point stats that you gave me here, which is very, very handy. Thank you for that one.
Oh, you're very welcome.
You did the maths for me, perfect, because I'm
Yeah.
terrible at maths. If ever you'd ask me, oh, can you just quickly add that up? No. It's called a calculator. So, yeah, there we go. But, yeah, it's been a mega season. I mean, anything you want to say, Simon? I mean, there's lots that has happened, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Really, really entertaining racing throughout. If you've seen the previous races, you'll know just how chaotic it was in the first couple of races. If you haven't, you can watch them on catch up on the alphalive YouTube channel. All of the live streams are there that you can watch in your spare time. But yeah, just to echo what you said, huge thank you to Tillotson for inviting me to do this. Huge thank you to alphalive for putting up with me. Huge thank you to you, Anthony, for putting up with my plugging of Club Orange there
you go,
as well.
You're welcome.
And yeah, obviously, huge shift has been put in by everyone behind the scenes. It's easy to watch the live stream and just think that it's me and Anthony banding away and a couple of people driving around in imaginary go-karts, but it really has been a mammoth effort from everyone at Tillotson and alphalive to get this series to you in the highest possible quality. So yeah, round of applause to everyone at alphalive and at Tillotson, and thank you all so much for all your work.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, that leaves us left to say thank you and goodbye from us here at the Tillotson T4 Esports Series. I've been Anthony Jordan. He's been Simon. There we go. He's that way. And from us here, it's goodbye for 2022.